Namaste and welcome to this episode of the Thursday Thoughts. In fact, this is not a Thursday Thoughts. Today is Monday, but these thoughts are daily thoughts for me, and not only for me, for every peace-loving human being alive on this globe today, that which is troubling each one of us, though in a distant way, is the Middle East crisis, the seemingly unending, spiraling crisis of the Middle East, the Israel and the Palestinians, and the other Arab nations that are warring with each other. And by each day, the number of people, the number of casualties, of innocent civilians is just increasing. I mean, appears to be no end to this particular crisis that the whole world is facing today. I'm just trying to have a look at it. It's a very, very complicated saga of human ignorance about war. That much I can tell you. Everybody says everybody wants peace. Every religion says they want peace, but we are not keen on getting it. And the best example of that has been the Middle East crisis, where for a small area, I mean, you can see that it's such a small area. The two warring or disagreeing, then warring supposedly nations like Israel, which is the majority are Jews, and the Palestinians, majority are the Mohammedans or the Islamists. They are fighting, since when. I think it dates back to centuries, decades definitely, and even centuries. So I just thought, let us just discuss about it, because it appears that okay, we are not concerned, we in India are safe, or in the American citizens are safe, or the Russians are fighting their own war, the Russia against Ukraine, and maybe people in Europe also may feel that they are far away from this problem. But this can spiral into one of the biggest wars that the world has ever seen, lest the peace lovers, whoever thinks that there has to be a solution, urgent solution, they don't act. If they don't act, we are definitely in for an imminent war, which is going to spiral into one of the biggest wars in the history of the humankind. Let us just have a look how things are right now in a sketchy way. I know, in a very rough way. We are seeing that it appears to me, forgive me if I am not using the correct words, the United Nations appears to me as a big wall that was supposed to be standing between two warring nations, but it looks like to me as the Wailing War, the famous Wailing War of Jerusalem, where people from all the three religions come only to sob, and the victims of the wars that are continuing for decades, they can come to UN and weep their heart out and tell their sob stories, and there is no one to take action how to reduce the casualties. So unfortunately, supposed to be a strong wall, the UN to me appears as the Wailing Wall, without much emotions, without much clue as to how to go about it. Anyway, that is a very, very, it's a simile, at the same time it's an ironical metaphor for the existence of UN, that it has come to this pass. It has become almost like a silent spectator to what all is happening. Let us just try to trace back how it all unfolded. 1948 is when in the mediation of the United Kingdom, the formation of Israel takes place, and obviously the Palestinians are not happy because they are occupying a lot of areas that the Palestinians feel or believe that it belongs to them, and the Israelis feel that the God has promised them this land, and they have got the rightful ownership of this particular land, that is Israel today. 1948 it was formed, and ironically in the same year, October 24, 1948, the United Nations also was formed, or maybe it was in the recent past to that, after the World War. Unfortunately, the UN has not been able to do much in this particular crisis, though it is construed and constructed brick by brick to stop any type of war, any type of atrocities or attacks, military attacks on one country by another country or a group of leaders, but they are almost, it appears to me, the free for all. So 1948, Israel is formed, and we see that a lot of negotiations go. A lot of times, each warring nation attacks the other, and in retaliation, the Israelis are attacking the Palestinian establishments in and around the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, as we know this. So the calendar now shifts to 1978, September 17th, when the Camp David, the famous Camp David Accord takes place, after 12 days of secret negotiations in the secret location of Camp David in United States of America, under the watching the big brother, the United Nations president, the POTUS president of the United States, under the watchful eyes of Jimmy Carter. The then warring nations like Egypt and Palestinians, they come together for an accord which is known as the Camp David Accord, and that happened in 1978. And you want to know what was the first repercussion of Camp David? The world political scenario was Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to Muhammad Anwar el-Sadat, the president of Egypt. That time Egypt was very active. Egypt, as you know, is the southern border of, touches the southern border of Palestine, Israel. So Anwar Sadat and the Israeli Prime Minister, the then Israeli Prime Minister, they are awarded the Nobel Peace Prize at that time. So we see that Menahem Begin was the Prime Minister of Israel at that time. So Menahem Begin of Israel, and he and Muhammad Anwar Sadat, under the watchful eyes of Jimmy Carter, the president of the US, were awarded Nobel Peace Prize. Oh, there is so much of recognition for the peace efforts by Egypt and Israel. But you want to know what is the immediate fallout of that? 1978 this happens, and just barely after 3 years, Muhammad Anwar el-Sadat is assassinated in Cairo, in the capital city of Egypt, when there was the military parade for the annual celebration of Egypt crossing the Suez Canal, and Islamboli is the attacker who empties his gun, the rifle, on Anwar Sadat's body, and he is killed instantly. So this is the result, because all the Arab nations, all the Egyptians, they felt that this is a sellout to Israel, so we will not accept it. Obviously, the Camp David Accord falls through, and it is absolutely nobody is there to accept it. Now, Jimmy Carter, obviously is a sad man after this. Then what happens is they correct their mistakes. The peace, the supposedly peace lovers or peacekeepers for Israel and Palestine, they again come together, and this time they want to put the warring, the disagreeing groups together for an accord, which is known as the Oslo Accord, and that happens in the year 1993. Yes, in 1993, the Oslo Accord was signed. The first Oslo Accord was signed, in which the troubled area, that is the West Bank, is supposedly be divided into three parts, A, B, and C. A will be 18% of the locality of the area, which will be governed by the Palestinians directly, and 22%, which are scattered all around the West Bank, will be under the joint direct sovereignty of Israelis as well as the Palestinians. And of course, the 60% of the West Bank will be with the Israelis. But again, if you want to know what is the result of the Oslo II Accord in 1995, it resulted in, and what happens is immediately after such a peace accord, what we have seen earlier in 1978, a similar thing happens here also, and there are Nobel Peace Prize is awarded to on September 13th, 1994, in fact, the Nobel Peace Prize is awarded to Isaac Rabin, the Prime Minister of Israel, along with him, the Foreign Minister of Israel, Shimon Peres, and of course, we have got the famous Yasser Arafat, the Palestine Liberation Organization chief, PLO chief. He gets the Nobel Prize in 1994. Nobel Peace Prize is shared between the three people, Isaac Rabin, the then Prime Minister of Israel, the Finance Minister Shimon Peres, and Yasser Arafat. And the result is very shocking as well. Again, this time the Israelis are not happy. The hardliners feel that why they should give why they should hand over the control of the areas that rightfully belongs to them to the Palestinians. So they don't agree to that, and as a result, Isaac Rabin is assassinated in 1995, and slowly the people who were opposing this accord, Oslo II Accord, in 1993 and 1995, the Israeli right wing comes to power, namely, the Benjamin Netanyahu and leaders like that. So now what we are going to do? So both the peace accords nullified by assassinations, and both the groups have left unhappy. So, and recently, of course, we have seen there is again the Arab Peace Initiative, API 1, API 2, but there is no way the fighting or the bombardment is appearing to reduce. In fact, it is snowballing into a bigger and bigger theater of war. As we all know that October 7, 2023, the Hamas suddenly attacks Israel, deep inside Israel, and they have killed more than 1,200, mostly civilians again. So, as a retaliation to that, recently the Israelis, Benjamin Netanyahu, has claimed that they have killed the Hamas leader, namely Yahya Sinwar, recently, that is on 18th of October. And meanwhile, Hezbollah from Lebanon is also planning and executing attacks on Israel. So all the surrounding Arab nations, even Iran also has attacked. Other day, October 1st, 2024, they attacked with 180 missiles, and thankfully to the Iron Dome of Israel, the 180 missiles reportedly are intercepted, and they didn't damage anything. No damage of loss of life was reported. But I mean, how long the world will have to be silent witness to all this warring factions of this? Can there be no peace in Middle East? We are about to complete 76 years of Israel that was given the land in 1948, and the United Nations existence is again almost, we are going to complete 80 years, but without much effect. The very purpose, can we not have an United Nations with a strong motto that peace come what may, peace at any cost? If under that is what is my thinking. I know I'm a small man in the whole gamut of the world affairs. In fact, it's a challenge for me to talk about this. But I am saddened because we are thwarting peace. Time and again, people have been killed, innocent lives are lost, and no life can be given back to the killed people. So my feeling is the UN has to be strong. And I remember a small story that happened when I was in 8th class. What happened was, in my school in 8th class, Section A was formed, taking all the best students, supposedly the best students. And they formed a class or section called 8A, supposed to be the elite, the most brilliant students. One day, in an empty period, or when the teacher was absent, we were shouting at our top. And the nearby classroom, there was a class going on, and the teacher was surprised, what is happening to 8A? So he comes into our class and asks, what are you doing? Why are you shouting so much? Who's the monitor of your Section 8A? Then, to his utter surprise, he finds that there is no monitor as yet. It was the beginning of the session. Then he says, okay, I want to have a monitor for your class. Tell me who all are interested to become the monitor. And to his utter surprise, again, there was nobody standing up. Then he says, it's fine. If you don't have a leader among you, I will call one person from the nearby 8B section and make him monitor of 8A. No need to tell that the very next day we talked to our class teacher and we got our monitor. One or two, maybe two monitors we had. So that is the case. If you want to impose peace on Palestine and Israel, it just cannot happen. They themselves have to hanker for peace, and they themselves have to work hard for peace, not killing. Killing is no answer. So you have to have a strong United Nations Security Council. Where is it? It is not seen at all. So it should go and talk to both the leaders. In fact, there is no leader worth name after Yasser Arafat for the Palestinians. So the Palestinians are, the Gaza Strip is governed by the Hamas, which has got a very, not a very positive background. and the West Bank is governed by the Palestinian authorities, the PA. So they should first have unity among the West Bank group as well as the Gaza Strip. Then they should elect their own leader and who should be able to represent their views and talk to Benjamin Netanyahu or whoever is the president of or the prime minister of Israel, and they should talk to each other under the aegis of the United Nations or maybe United Nations Security Council. And the time-bound program has to be given that by this date you have to achieve peace, and that you should stop all warring, bombarding of each other areas, and there should be ceasefire immediately declared by the United Nations. So then you should try to compensate whatever is the loss on either side, the heavy compensation for lives and the rebuilding, reconstruction of the areas that are damaged by the mutual bombardment has to be awarded to the respective nations who are the cause of the particular destruction. I mean, we just cannot be just onlookers to these atrocities for the humanity. And ironically, Jerusalem is the place where three religions have got very important history attached to it. The Israelis feel that they had built the second temple there, and that is the wall, the Wailing Wall. So they want to rebuild their second and even third temple there. And the Christians feel and they tell themselves that here is the place where Jesus Christ was crucified, and after that he got resurrection, and that is the place. And the Islamists have got a lot of pious feelings towards Jerusalem because as per their relics or their books, Prophet Muhammad attained sainthood, or he ascended to heaven from the same place. So if all these three religions want peace, then why the peace is such is absent in such a big measure, and the city of peace, that is Jerusalem, is hardly experiencing any peace since its establishment centuries ago. So let us give peace a chance, and peace at any cost, let it be our motto. With these few words, I pray God for giving us peace on this earth. Anywhere be it be, let it be. So peace unto everyone on this earth. Take care. Bye-bye till we meet next time.